Austin Peay head coach Scotty Walden, Austin Peay 42-26 winners over Eastern Illinois. They're going to come to Nissan Stadium, play Tennessee State on Saturday. Both teams with 2 losses in the OVC standings. Sort of key matchup in those final standings. Coach, thoughts on your team, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our team, Kyle, from last week. Obviously against them, against UT Martin, it was a heartbreaking loss. I mean, that was obviously a really, really tough game for us, to lose in the last second there and lose by 1 point. And when you're talking to 18, 22-year-olds and talking about guys emotionally having to, dial it back, and get ready within a week's time to get ready for another really good opponent. Because, like I said before, those guys, I know the record doesn't reflect what they want, but those guys, they play tremendously hard, and they gave us everything that we could ask for. They did everything they could to beat us. They threw everything at us. We had to play really well and be able to buck back up to get ready, for those guys. And, for us to, come back in a week's time and be able to respond that way, that was really impressive. And especially with the way the first 3 plays of the game went for us offensively, out of the first 3 plays, we had 2 turnovers. One was a pick six. And, that was really, really hard to overcome, but our guys did, nobody coming up that heartbreaking loss and then starting a game that way. That's difficult. That's difficult to put behind you. That's difficult to be able to stay together in the midst of adversity and go win a big time ball game. I thought was awesome by our guys. That our defense performed really well. Obviously, school record was 6 interceptions. John Edwards, defense player of the week in the conference, and then Draylen Ellis coming off the bench there and just stepping back into his role and stepping back up and making some big time throws and our receivers Eugene Minner, Dre McCray making some big time catches, and then you got Brian Sneed with 2 touchdowns on the ground. So that was awesome. That was awesome to see. That was a great performance. But I give the credit to our players fighting through adversity, fighting through that tough stretch there to be able to go win a big time game at OVC matchup at our place. That was awesome and really inspiring to see.
So 6 interceptions, that doesn't happen a lot. Can you talk about just that defense? And you all are first nationally now, 23 turnovers gained on the season.
Yeah, I mean, our defense staff, Coach Chris Kappas and Coach Chris Jones, Akeem Davis, Mark Powell, they do a fantastic job preparing our defense every week. And I think that us being number 1 in the country in takebacks is an unbelievable stat. That's something every offseason we talk about, like, hey, we've got to have an enormous amount of takebacks, and especially as fast as we play on offense, the more possessions we get, the more opportunities we get. And that's so important for our system. So I'm extremely pleased with, the way we're playing over there. But John Edwards, going to him and Shamari Simmons, Kobe Perry, those guys that pick those passes off, Kobe 2 weeks in a row, just undercutting the ball. And he is playing so fast right now. And at the right time, he's playing fresh. He's playing fast. He's got a clear mind. He's got fast feet. And then on top of that, you've got Shamari Simmons, who is just, I think, really settled into his own, and he's going to become a staple here. A junior college kid out of Hutchinson won a national championship there, and he just continues to get better. And then John Edwards, the thing about him was, as a coach, you watch the whole film, everybody sees the 3 picks and obviously is like, whoa, this guy had a great game. Well, he also tackled well. He blocked a field goal, against them. They just happened to. I feel like, heck, he might have given the momentum for it to go in. I mean, he blocked the field goal and it ended up being good. I haven't seen that live before, but he did it. But he was giving great effort on our strike unit, which is our field goal block unit. He was giving just great effort all night, tackling well, and he was opportunistic. But I'll say this too, Kyle, that when you have that amount of interceptions, that's also attributed to a great pass rush. And Troy Henderson at linebacker, Eric Bentley, Damian Barber, Terrell Allen. I thought those guys were unbelievable. Up front, unbelievable, getting off the rock and getting pressure on the quarterback. And when you change the launch point for the quarterback, you can take advantage of some things in the back end, and we did that and did it at a high level.
So all those people you talked about, obviously you like to have Cordell Jackson, though, and you're not going to have him for the rest of the season. Can you talk about just his impact he's had on your team in your short time there?
Yeah, I mean, I know I haven't been here a long time, but I've been here a year with him, but just praying for Cordell, and I think his best football's ahead of him. I think he's going to get a shot at the next level. I hope and pray, and we're going to do everything in our power to put him in those situations, get him those opportunities, and I know he'll take advantage of that. But he's a pro in every facet of the word. He trains the right way off the foot. He leads the right way. He's committed. I mean, this guy knew he wasn't going to play this week, and he did not have to, stand up in front of our team at the pregame meal and say something. And, it's just little things like that to go a long way. He is a really good example of a leader. And obviously, like I said, I'm shocked that the kid's so tough. I mean, because I'm shocked he played against UT Martin. I didn't think he was going to make it through practice that week. We didn't know how he was going to fare in practice. And I thought for him to come out playing that Martin game was a feat within itself. God, we really didn't expect, for him to play. I mean, because if there's a football on that field, number 13's usually out there around it, playing. So I mean, he stays after practice, does one-on-ones all the time. I can't get him off the field, So a very, very impactful, legendary player at Austin Peay State University. Obviously, his career record, his stats, everything, it speaks for itself. And I think he's going to be remembered as one of the great players of all time here at Austin Peay State University. No doubt in my mind, a very, very special person as well. And yeah, it's gonna hurt not having him these last two games, of course. But that's we can't control injuries, and he needs surgery, and we're wishing him a speedy recovery. And I think he's going to have a chance to do some special things in his life and in his career.
So the questions that Mike, he wanted to know about, you've already seen TSU once this year, but Devon Starling and just his hard-nosed running, he's approaching 1,000 yards. You have a couple really good running backs, so you know what it's like when you see a running back. So just thoughts on what you saw out of Starling the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he just runs so violent. I mean, he's got a rare combination, man, of size and speed. I mean, he's a really well put together young man. But the thing I've noticed about him is, when he gets contact, his feet do not stop. And he's got some big, big legs, man. I mean, this kid's put together well. So when he when he gets contacted, he continues to move those feet. And all of a sudden, I think that's why you see him approaching 1,000 yards here, because a 2-yard gain turns into a 5-yard gain with him. A 4-yard gain turns into a first down. We have got to gang tackle him, and we have got to get 11 hats to the football. And that makes them difficult to defend, because I think Hickenbottom is playing as good as any quarterback out there. I think he's efficient. He can beat you with his legs. He can throw it, and they've got some really good receivers. They got speed on the edge, and they're big up front. So, I mean, the Tigers got a great combination of size and speed, but Starling makes them go. I mean, we've got to get our 11 hats to the football and gang tackle, because if we're one-on-one all night, eventually he's going to wear you down, because he's just so strong and so big, and he moves those feet on contact so well. So I think he's a great player, and they're hard to defend.
So we may have talked about this earlier in the year, but so you're playing him for the second time. We've not done this season, the third time in the year, in a calendar year, in however many months. So how's the prep different? I mean, you learned some things, obviously, playing them from film. Is this week, how's it different from the last time you played them?
Well, it obviously is a really unique challenge to go through that, because you obviously get to see some things that work or some things that didn't work, and then you get to tweak your plan, a little bit. And I just think that, obviously going back watching film, we see some things that we could have had that would have been better, here or there. And then you also see some things that were good. And, obviously you don't change your preparation, but you got to tweak the plan, obviously, because they're going to have some tweaks in their plan, and we're going to have some tweaks for them. And then we got to go be us, and we got to go execute. That was the big deal in that game. I felt like, going back watching the film, was just, we didn't execute. We did not execute at a high level. We hurt ourselves a lot of times and put ourselves in bad situations. And so we're just trying to have good practices and be able to, sustain that success and be able to be consistent, be able to be a consistent offense, a consistent defense, consistent on our defensive units, to be able to play against a really good team. So you always got to add some wrinkles. You always got to have some things to throw at them. But at the end of the day, we got to be us, and we got to continue to have good practices and continue to get better. And obviously, when you watch that film, you go back, you see some things you miss, some things you like, some things that, hey, was a good play, but maybe fine tuning this part of it, fine tuning that, maybe could help us. But obviously a very unique challenge.
Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck on Saturday in Nashville, and then we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.